Step into a place that's alive with creativity. At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, our students have a passion for art, graphic design, music, dance, and theater. We're here to help you discover your artistic potential. From classic techniques to modern innovations, UW-Whitewater is an outstanding place to learn your craft and prepare for your career. So bring your talents and imagination. Come be part of the Warhawk family.
Bonsoir à tous.
Hola.
Hej, hur är läget?
Marhaba.
Ni hao.
Konnichiwa.
UW-Whitewater International Student Association is a student organization brings both international students and national students together to share their cultural experience and beliefs. The ISA also collaborates with other student organizations in UW-Whitewater. The International Dinner is one of the most unique events that ISA have for every spring semester, which serves all kinds of food from different countries, and it invites students to show their talent on a dinner. So what are you waiting for? Come join the ISA today.
We are
ISA.
As an Army ROTC cadet at Whitewater, you have the opportunity to develop into a great leader while learning and applying the Army values to your everyday life. Within ROTC, you have the chance to travel overseas in the CULP program to train with other militaries, attend many elite Army schools such as Airborne and Combat Diver, and you have the opportunity to attend conferences and guest lectures by some of the Army's top-ranking officers. Our Warhawk cadets participate in many extracurricular activities, Division III sports, Greek life, intramural sports, among many other team building and community service events. Being a cadet at Whitewater is more than just being part of the Army. It's also about being active members in our community and coming together to form a family atmosphere. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves while developing themselves professionally should consider UW-Whitewater ROTC. To sign up for UW-Whitewater ROTC, go to the 4th floor of McCutcheon Hall to room 417.
Welcome to the University Center Reservations. We are here to provide an abundance of rooms to make your events possible. We schedule events in multiple buildings around campus. Your meeting could be for business or a party. We got you covered. Performances are also an option. Solo, duo, or the whole organization. Don't be shy. Stop by our office or visit our website for more information. We would love to help you out.
Hi, I'm your host Myron Jacobs, and welcome to Eerie Theories, the latest TV show to decipher popular conspiracies and that explores the mysteries of our world. On today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the prison system theory. This isn't really a theory, but it is treated as if it is, so let's take a look at the facts. If you didn't know, America has the highest incarceration rate in the world. This is a pretty big deal because America only makes up for about 5% of the population on Earth. So for us to have the highest incarceration rate, it's downright crazy. In 1975, the number of people in prison was around 300,000. Now, fast forward to 2019, and the rate has skyrocketed to about 2.5 million. This either means that people in America are committing more crimes, or it means that the government is being too harsh on its civilians. Let's take a look at the numbers in more detail. Studies have been ran to understand why this is such a problem in our country. One of these problems comes from a dark past of the United States. It all starts with the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery, but it also says that it doesn't apply to you if you are a criminal. After the Civil War in 1865, there were 4 million slaves freed. This hurt the economy of the South dramatically. So what happened is black people began to be arrested for petty crimes en masse. It was our nation's first prison boom. Slaves were arrested and thrown into prisons for crimes like loitering and being homeless, which isn't punishable by jail time nowadays. This basically made newly freed slaves slaves again. We obviously know that this was a direct product of racism. For a long time, whites started hanging and killing black people just because they were allegedly committing crimes. After some time, it became distasteful for whites to act like terrorists. The agenda was shifted in a more legal way with the Jim Crow laws. Jim Crow made black and white people have completely different bathrooms, schools, and anything else you can think of. This made it easier to put people of color in prison when breaking these ridiculous laws. Now, I know what you're gonna say. Jim Crow was wrong, we all agree, and it was about 60 years ago, so let's move forward. Well, let's take a look at the statistics for prison. 40% of the black community is in jail in 2019. So even though blacks don't make up for the majority of the population, they are the majority of the prison population. Now, I agree with punishing people for committing crimes. I have no problem with that. I do have a problem, on the other hand, with the government making laws that specifically target people of color. We see laws like this in the 90s where crack and cocaine were running the streets. Crack was more of a black drug, cocaine, a white drug. If you were caught with crack up until 2010, there was a minimum 1-year sentence. The harsh fact is that if you had cocaine, you would need 100 times more cocaine to get the same sentencing. This shows a blatant form of racism within our judicial system. Let's face it, the law system is corrupt. We have people facing life in prison for one joint. These people always so happen to be black. Parole is another big reason people are in jail today. If on parole, you can get sent back to prison for simply coming into contact with law enforcement. This is extremely unfair for blacks on parole because more law enforcement are patrolling their neighborhoods. Now, that's all the time that we have to break down this concept. When we come back, we'll be discussing our thoughts and opinions on this very topic. Stay tuned.
Warhawks know what it takes to become champions. At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, our student athletes pursue excellence with a determination that inspires everyone on campus. Warhawks are smart. Warhawks are strong. Warhawks value service. We prepare our student athletes for life after college. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Come be part of the Warhawk family.
Bonsoir à tous.
Hola.
Hej, hur är läget?
مرحبا.
Ni hao.
Konnichiwa.
UWW-Whitewater International Student Association is a student organization brings both international students and national students together to share their cultural experience and beliefs. The ISA also collaborates with other student organizations in UW-Whitewater. The International Dinner is one of the most unique events that ISA have for every spring semester, which serves all kinds of food from different countries, and it invites students to show their talent on the dinner. So what are you waiting for? Come join the ISA today.
We are
We're
ISA.
As an Army ROTC cadet at Whitewater, you have the opportunity to develop into a great leader while learning and applying the Army values to your everyday life. Within ROTC, you have the chance to travel overseas in the CULP program to train with other militaries, attend many elite Army schools such as Airborne and Combat Diver, and you have the opportunity to attend conferences and guest lectures by some of the Army's top-ranking officers. Our Warhawk cadets participate in many extracurricular activities, Division III sports, Greek life, intramural sports, among many other team building and community service events. Being a cadet at Whitewater is more than just being part of the Army. It's also about being active members in our community and coming together to form a family atmosphere. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves while developing themselves professionally should consider UW-Whitewater ROTC. To sign up for UW-Whitewater ROTC, go to the 4th floor of McCutcheon Hall to room 417.
Welcome back to Eerie Theories, the latest TV show deciphering the world's mysteries. We just broke down the prison system theory. Now let's discuss some thoughts and opinions about this topic. I personally think that there has been an agenda since slavery to keep black people in prison. I say this because of the law system and how it's set up. Look at all of the laws that have been made to hold minorities back. Now, the pressure has been taken off of the black community and it's been on to the Mexican community. There are laws that make it okay to stop anyone that looks like an immigrant. The problem with this is anyone can be an immigrant. This gives police a right to stop Mexican people simply because of their race and that they are the ones that are said to be illegal. With this being said, we need the law to work for all people and it needs to be equal. After all, our country is the land of the free. This is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time to discover more Eerie Theories.